The Switch version of Doom Eternal has one feature that stands out the most compared to other versions of the game, and it's not the portability the console has to offer. Gyro aiming in Doom is like peanut butter and jelly. It's meant to be together, and especially playing an FPS title on a controller, it really helps to tighten your aim and precision. The problem is, however, it's a bit hard at first. You probably have never played an FPS game on a Wii remote, for example, and experienced aiming by using your hands, cause it's a weird feeling. Instead of using a mouse across a flat surface with your hand, you're moving a remote anywhere freely without having anything to rest your arms on. I've seen a ton of people mentioning the issues they've been having with this feature, and I thought, hey, why not make a vid about this? In this video, I'm going to show you how I utilize gyro aiming to the best of my ability. Heard how I emphasize I and my? It's because there's no straightforward answer to gyro aiming. Flicking a remote around may not work for everyone. I can show you what works for me personally, but at the end of this video, I'd like to show you the numerous ways you can utilize gyro aiming, and choose which way you find comfortable for yourself. Not from others, but for you. If you like Doom related videos and want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button as well as like the video. It really helps me out a ton when making these. Plus, I've got some great vids coming up that you don't want to miss out on. But anyways, let's get into this video. When utilizing gyro aiming, there are three setups the Switch has to offer. The 1-2 buckle my shoe setup, the controller setup, and handheld. These three each have their pros and cons when using gyro aiming, and for which has pros that outweigh the cons, well, it depends. It's all personal preferences. Before we get into the setups, first you gotta find what sensitivity suits you the best. You have multiple options to choose from when tweaking the settings for gyro aiming. First, you gotta select motion aiming, then the options will appear in front of you. You can adjust the horizontal and vertical speed for gyro aiming, invert the gyro aiming, or you could even disable motion aiming when you move the right analog stick. You can mess around with any of these to your liking. It doesn't have to be the same as someone else's setup. You find what's comfortable for you. Two things I should mention. One, the right controller is what makes the gyro aiming possible, meaning the left one doesn't contribute anything to it. And two, the sensitivity scale, depending on how high or low it is, can provide different playstyles. For example, I like to keep my sensitivity low, 45 to 45, and I use the gyro aiming to adjust my aim for something like the precision bolt or sticky bombs. I still use the right stick to look around and aim with, but I use gyro controls to fine-tune the aiming because of how low it is. Now, if you were to crank the sensitivity to high, then a simple twist is enough for the slayer to look behind them real quick without the use of an analog stick. It's great for ballistic boosting though. You can also sit on a computer chair and spin yourself around as you're playing. The controller can pick that up and move the Slayer's POV as you spin around. Kinda makes you feel like you're playing a VR version of Doom Eternal, except without a screen close to your face. Moving on to the setups. Let's talk about the first one. Each Joy-Con is detached from the system and placed in your hand. You can move your hands freely and wiggle them around without any restrictions. When playing with gyro aiming, you'll be moving your right arm a lot more than your left arm since that Joy-Con is the only controller with gyro capabilities. After a while, you might get a bit tired, which is where the flaw in this setup shines. If you want your POV to be still when not gyro aiming, you'll have to keep your arms still. Sounds simple and easy, but kinda hard to achieve when in the middle of an arena fight where it could work against you if you ever so move your hand around when you're on the move. The best way to fix this issue is having something to prop your arm against. As long as you're resting your arm, you shouldn't have that much of an issue when keeping your aim on point. Hell, you could even lay down on a couch with your arms spread apart as comfortably as you want them to. That's like the best part about it. You can look like you're dead with an arm that has a mind of its own as you're playing, but you'll be comfortably dead, if that makes any sense. Playing with a controller or both Joy-Cons attached to a grip helps stabilize your grip. With two hands planted firmly against each side, pressing them together, you'll have full control when moving it around with gyro. Instead of just moving one remote, you can move the entire controller when utilizing gyro controls. You can twist with your right hand, twist with your left, or even pull the controller back to aim upwards. The only issue in regards to the setup is that both hands are required for gyro aiming, meaning if I move to the right, the controller will be on an awkward angle for me to perform inputs properly. You could move the controller side to side, but you'll have to move the controller back to its original position by retracing your steps or twists. Overriding motion controls with stick could help fix that, but only if it's comfortable for you, just like what I said at the previous setup. Resting your arms against a comfortable surface will help improve the stability. Your lap, computer chair, or even a table is the best spot to rest your arms on. That way you still have enough room to move the controller around. Now, this one is where I'm gonna get a bit biased about, and that's the handheld setup. My favorite way of playing Doom Eternal. Much like how it is with the controller, except the screen itself is the controller. I feel as if I have more control when aiming as I'm moving this entire tablet around. I can lay down anywhere and play this with comfort and stability, and just something about moving the screen and the Slayer moves with you just feels right. The only problem is running out of battery. Playing Doom Eternal on the Switch can go on for a while. It's really good, but sometimes you forget how much battery you have left, and then you gotta get a cord to charge it, but the cord's too small, so you gotta sit up as you're charging while playing, yada yada. It's genuinely a great setup, and by far one of my favorites. Now, we've gone over 3 of the possible setups you can use for gyro aiming. Each has their pros and cons, and sometimes the pros outweigh the cons. Which setup has that? That's up to you to figure out. Pick your favorite setup and stick to it. If it doesn't work for you, then try another setup. Just like Doom Eternal's core gameplay, you can play creatively both in-game and in real life. That's about everything I gotta say for this video. Oh, wait. Yeah, the drawing. In my previous video, I said I would draw Isabel and Doom Guy at the vet if the vid got 5 likes, which you definitely hit. So, here's the drawing. You got the Doomslayer killing a possessed vet, who was actually the thing that took on Liz from Garfield's form, and Isabel needs medication for her high testosterone levels. There's your drawing, I guess, but anyways, I hope you learned something new from this video, and hopefully this helped you out in a way. What is your favorite way to play Doom Eternal on the Nintendo Switch? Do let me know in the comments section down below. Thanks for sticking around all the way to the end of this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, keep slaying.